Okay, this is an interview for Women's Radio. This is Dr. Janet Cotton. I am the Managing Director of 180 Materials Engineering Solutions. And we have a unique program at our company where we engage with students who want to get real life experience in engineering during their degree program. So they come to us and they spend a couple of weeks with us learning about materials engineering and practical real-life experiences, and they complete this work during their degree program, so during their varsity holidays. Currently, we have a number of students from the United States. We have a student from France with us, and we have a number of students from South Africa also doing their in-service training. So it's an international requirement that engineering students do in-service training at a company. But what's really exciting is that we have students from both the United States and from France wanting to venture as far as the southern tip of Africa to come and do their in-service training. And with us today we have Lily from the United States, and we're going to talk to her about her experience with 180 Materials Engineering Solutions. So Lily, tell us about yourself.
Hi, thank you for having me on. So I'm an upcoming third-year student at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, in Knoxville, Tennessee, and I am studying chemical engineering, and I'm really excited to be here because I have a huge passion for getting out of my comfort zone in the engineering space, and I have a passion for sustainability, and I'm hoping to take my engineering degree and use it in the consumer goods industry.
That's fantastic, Lily. Why did you choose engineering as a profession? What stuck out for you when you were at school?
Engineering for me is all about the way it makes my brain work. I love problem solving and I love the balance of creativity, and I also love having numerical answers that show success. So that's a really nice balance that you get in engineering. You can try new things and be really creative in your day-to-day work, but at the end of the day, there's right answers and wrong answers, and you're always striving towards success and the highest accuracy that you can get.
So in South Africa, when I started studying engineering in 1992, which gives away my age, it was quite strange for women to be studying engineering. What's the situation in the United States right now with women in engineering? Have you felt any kind of prejudice, or has that country reached a level of equilibrium in accepting women in the profession?
I feel like in the U.S. it's very positive for women to be in engineering. I feel like there's really a lot of support in my university and in most universities for women in engineering. A lot of scholarships are offered for women that want to go in those fields. I do think that the challenge comes with the number of women still choosing to get into engineering. So in my discipline of chemical engineering, as well as in biomedical engineering, most of the classes are 50-50 women and men. But unfortunately, in other disciplines like electrical engineering and mechanical engineering, there's only a few girls in each of those classes. So as somebody going into some of those fields, it might be intimidating to look around the classroom and not see as many people that look like you.
Yeah, I remember that certainly was the case for me when I was one of 8 out of 100 engineering intakes in 1992. So tell us, who inspires you?
For me in my situation, I always think it's my peers, because I think that the attitude that you have in classes, especially difficult engineering classes, is extremely important. So having upbeat and positive peers around you that make you excited to learn and ask questions has always been really motivating for me. Neither of my parents practice engineering, so I didn't know a lot about what the future career path would look like before I started school. So for me, it really has been peers and teachers. I do undergraduate research at my university with an incredible woman named Dr. Ria Corder, and she's like my biggest mentor. She's always been extremely responsive and engaging with all of my ideas, and she's been somebody that I've always strived to be like in my future career.
Oh, that's fantastic. It's always so important as a young graduate to have a mentor that you can look up to. And in engineering, people don't really realize the importance of engaging with your peers. sometimes engineering graduates feel that their career is just going to be them and a computer. So I'm really encouraged that you have that perspective of how important it is to work as a team and to have really good social skills and accept the diversity of different people and so on. So tell us about your experience with the 180 Materials Engineering Solutions internship program.
My experience at 180 has been overwhelmingly positive. I came in with a chemical engineering background, only having completed my first years of undergrad. So a lot of what I do at 180 has taken me out of my comfort zone and introduced me to a lot of mechanical and material engineering principles that I didn't have a lot of experience with, which has been extremely educational and really exciting every day at work. I've gotten a lot of hands-on experience with mechanical testing, but I've also gotten to see a lot of other sides of the engineering field, especially when it comes to engineering in the consulting space. So I've gotten to do project reports and also a lot of troubleshooting with different processes, including an electrochemical cell, which is a really cool project for me to work on here.
Oh, that's great to hear. So how has your experience been working obviously with fellow American students, but also South African students, and also tell us a bit about how you've experienced South Africa and its diverse cultures in comparison to how things are in the United States culturally.
Yeah, so one of the main reasons that I wanted to do an intern abroad was to be exposed to new perspectives and people with different backgrounds in the engineering space, and that's exactly what I've gotten here at 180. Everybody at 180 has a totally different background than me, and that's the most beautiful thing about it here. I've talked to so many people who had such different high school experience and college experiences and university experiences than I did, but there's such a beauty in the fact that we all come together to work on projects together, and collaboration and engineering principles are extremely universal. So even though a lot of the interns I work with didn't study the same courses I studied or had totally different backgrounds, we were able to work together and connect on so many things. It's crazy how I've been able to have so many commonalities with the people I've worked with here, just because the principles of engineering and just the principles of being in the workplace are very connected.
That's so incredible. I love that. I love the fact that for you, engineering has been a leveler across different cultures and backgrounds. So the actual work and the calculations and the conclusions and the approach is actually creates a type of leveling, and so it doesn't really matter about your background or your culture. What matters is solving the problem, and that brings about equality, it brings about tolerance, it brings collaboration. So that's just really great that that's what you've gotten out of that. Any advice to young girls who want to study engineering?
For sure. I think for me, the biggest thing has been not to compare myself to other people in the field, both females and males, and to just focus on your own journey and where you want to go. I think that in undergraduate studies, engineering is not always taught in a way that reflects how engineering will be in the workplace. So I think that it's extremely important to focus on your career goals above all else. And when you have that passion for the career goals that you're aimed towards, sitting through class and doing some of the nitty-gritty in the classroom is much more worth it and much more engaging. So for me, I really know I want to go into the food product development space, and I've found people in some of those roles that I've connected with, networked with, and I've seen what they do in a day-to-day. And so I know that when I'm sitting in thermodynamics and it's very overwhelming, I know that that's pushing me towards my future goals. So that's been big. Another piece of advice would be to just step out of your comfort zone. Doing a program abroad is extremely amazing, and also just cold emailing people. The woman I researched with, I cold emailed her randomly in the summer asking for if she had any space left in her lab. Same thing about internships, just sending out the email. Even if you get no response, it's just worth it to put yourself out there and to be the person to go out of their way to get opportunities, because opportunities won't always be placed in your hand.
I really love that, and I really agree with you. If you'll always be surprised if you just step outside what might happen. So lastly, what issues would you like to implement in your career journey and why?
In my career journey, I really just want to be continuously learning and stay as curious as possible. I've always found that the people that think that they know everything or think that they are kind of at the peak of their educational tolerance are the people that end up staying really stagnant. And in my life and in my career, I've always just wanted to continuously learn and grow and get more and more and more out of whatever field I'm in. And I just really want to keep asking questions no matter how far I get or no matter what role I'm in. Keep asking questions, not being scared to show uncertainty or to show that you don't know everything, because that's what closes doors. And I think that in engineering, my goal has always been to just open as many doors as possible. That's another reason I found myself in chemical engineering, is because I feel like it's a field where only doors are opened, nothing's shut in front of me. So that's something that I really care about. And once again, being in South Africa, I've gained so many amazing other perspectives from people that have totally different backgrounds than my own. And that's something I want to keep doing, meeting people and connecting with people that might have different opinions or might have a different way of thinking. Because once again, there is that universal common ground goal to find the solution in engineering. And sometimes that takes having numerous perspectives and collaborating with other people. And then overall, the biggest thing for me is always have an enthusiastic and positive attitude. I've never been a negative Nancy. I always really want to find the light and the positivity in everything, even when things go terribly wrong, which sometimes happens in engineering. If something fails, if math isn't adding up, or if something seems stagnant, there is always a positive lens to it. And I think that it's really important to just focus on that.
I really love that, Lily. That's just so fantastic and so inspiring for our young people that are starting their career, because I couldn't agree with you more. It's all about learning. And even here at 51 years old and 23 years in the industry, I'm still asking questions. I'm still pushing myself. And I really agree with you. If you carry on along that path, you're only going to succeed. I just want to know if there's one particular experience that you had, or one item of learning from another person that stood out for you the most. That's maybe a difficult question, so we'll give you a few seconds to think of it. If there's just something, like one conversation that maybe is your like wow moment that you're going to take home with you.
The first thing that comes to mind is a very simple conversation, but it's really important in especially the engineering space. We do a lot of metal polishing and sample preparation here. So we take the metal samples and we grind them, we polish them so we can use them in different mechanical tests and doing microscopy and a lot of really important things here. And I'm a very go person, and a lot of the sample preparation time takes patience and tolerance. And one of my co-interns, Lucas, and then the technician who trained me, Declan, and I had a really great conversation just about slowing down and just fully being in the moment. Even when processes take a long time, that's what will lead to positive outcomes. Sometimes you can't speed everything up and go as fast as you want to, but it's important to just take everything in and go super slowly sometimes, because the goal is always to get the best results, even if that means it takes a long time, and patience is really important. So I really want to leave 180 and practice patience in not only school, but with myself just on a day-to-day basis.
Oh, that's really beautiful. Thank you, Lily. So lastly, what would you like to say to 180 Materials Engineering Solutions in closing?
I'd just like to say thank you so much for such a positive environment where I was able to learn and ask questions, and I got to connect with so many amazing people. Additionally, it was a program that let me have my own freedom to work on a project that I wanted to work on and ask questions when I wanted to ask questions. But I also felt like there was a great level of structure where I was constantly being learned and challenged and tasked with different things. So it was just a really positive program overall. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Lily.